Hey friends, my name is Milind Prabhu, CEO at Genora Infotech. As we all speculate, when do we go back to work again? As we all try and understand how do we get through these difficult times, we thought we would make a series and get some of the industry veterans, startups, successful startup entrepreneurs to share with us their experiences as to how they're dealing with the situation and how do they expect to come out and what are the possible outcomes from this situation and possible opportunities that are going to come out. So let's hear from them. We have Ravi, Teja on the call.
Hmm.
Ravi is a co-founder of Unplan. I would let Ravi introduce the venture.
Okay.
Sure.
Hi guys. Hi Milind, Square, and Sanket. So yeah. So I run this company called Unplan from Bangalore. Okay, and it's a home services startup which we started around 4 years back. So when I say home services, the focus is around residences in Bangalore. So we provide services around managing the home asset. So probably a cleaning, painting, home interiors, pest control, handyman services, anything and everything around home is what we try to provide. Okay, and we have a small portfolio of B2B clients as well, which could be around 20% of our business. So the idea was to always start a business in this space to structure the blue collar space and bring more professional efficiency into this and bring a tech uh, enabled version of this. So that's what we've been doing. We have served close to 25,000 customers till now, and that's where we are in Bangalore.
Ravi, and as a customer, how do I order your services?
So you can go to our website unplan.in, and probably you would see an array of services and you can book from there.
Perfect.
Good.
And
Yeah.
guys, for a little bit of a personal information, Ravi is Goa's son-in-law as well,
Oh wow.
and he's currently in Goa.
What a coincidence.
Yeah, I'm in I'm in
Feel,
Goa right now, right?
feeling safe here?
Yeah, feeling safe here. So we came down before the lockdown because to check on the family, and then we kind of got stuck here. So, so yeah, that's
Okay,
how it's been. Yeah.
great. Yes, Ravi.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Uh,
So,
uh, moving on to the next panelist, Mr. Milind Anvekar. Milind Anvekar is the Vice President at Open Destinations, and he has been with the company for a very, very long time. I would let Milind introduce the company and his role at the company as well.
Yes, hi, morning. Yes, Open Destinations is in Goa for a pretty long time. It's 15 years that we just completed. Globally, yes, we are operating for the last 20 plus years. So it's been a long time we are in the market. We are a leading travel software technology solution provider. So some of the largest tour operators all over the world will prefer to use our product to manage their businesses. So in 30 countries is where we have a presence as of now. We have a team in London, so the office is headquartered in London. So we have a small team there which takes care primarily the project management, the customer engagements, and the finance. All of that is managed there. Whereas the entire operation is managed in our Goa office here. So we have a team of 500 plus people in Goa. So me at Open Destination primarily is responsible for the global deliveries. The QA team is what I take care of, and the delivery along with the customer services.
Absolutely.
yes.
Thank you for this information. Moving on to Sanket. Sanket is the CEO and co-founder at Minkspay. Sanket, I would let you introduce the product and your work at the company.
We started back in 2017 with bill payment and mobile recharge application for offline retailers. But over a period of time, we realized that our potential is beyond this. We can actually enable financial inclusion through rural India by enabling offline retail stores to convert into a mini banking outlet. When I say mini banking outlet, it's mostly about how we convert rural retail stores into a mini banking outlet is we give them an app which retailers can use and offer services like cash deposit, cash withdrawal, uh, money transfer, electricity bill payment, digital payment acceptance. This is something what we offer at Minkspay. back in 2017, we started with 20 retailers in northern part of Goa. Today, we serve close to 8,500 stores in more than 4 states of India, and thereby enabling like close to 500,000 financial inclusion transactions in India at this point of time.
Wow, wow. Sanket, so your business would be when your end customer walks into the retailer, and with this lockdown,
Yes.
when people are not coming out, how is your business impacted?
Yes, it's very tough time for all of us here, even like for the companies who are operating in the same space. Okay, we see that this, though banking and financial services still comes under essential products, but offline retailers are still not open on extending these services because of the fear in their mind that I don't want to offer any kind of services where the cash is coming in picture. Okay, and what we thought on this is like, if cash is becoming a problem here, we have to think about some other strategies here, what we can do with the existing set of retailers. Okay, and that's what I think. So we are currently figuring it out as a team and looking forward for some bigger opportunities and substitutes what we can offer to them.
Okay. And when do you expect people to walk out and start using these services? Because even the normal banking services are currently affected. So when you talk
Yes.
about fintech with retailers, when do you expect people to start using it and coming out?
So I think so. As far as we see this, I personally feel that yesterday Deepak Parekh, the chairman of HDFC, said that it's fairly going to take somewhere close to 8 to 9 months to come out of this entire crisis period. The way how it was working for all other fintechs and banking ecosystem, maybe 6 months ago, like coming back to normal position, it will further take 8 months, because our majority of the market was working mostly on the migrant people and the rural customers, where these migrant laborers used to send the money to them, right? So domestic money remittance was one of our largest business. Okay, and I think so it will further get affected because all the industries, factories, migrant laborers has actually moved out of wherever they used to stay. Okay, and what we see out of this is at least we have to wait for more 3 to 4 months to come out of this entire crisis situation.
Okay, okay. I'll come back to you with more questions, Sanket. I'll move on to Ravi. Ravi,
Yeah.
since your business deals with calling people back home, you're calling
Right.
out services, your platform
Right.
is used to get them
Right.
home.
Right.
And there is a fear amongst people
True.
to entertain anyone inside their house.
Mhm.
That would, I believe, would be a direct impact on your business.
Yeah.
But I will also add on another question to it is
Mhm.
people would want to entertain others in the house if it is about sanitization
True.
services. Like
True.
for instance, companies and stuff, they would want
Yeah.
overnight sanitization, regular sanitization services. So
Right.
considering both these aspects, how would you explain the impact of COVID on your business?
So on a transactional level or a financial aspect of the business, so currently we are shut for the business because our business involves physically moving people to different places to do the service, right? So currently in Bangalore, uh, all the services which are not essential are curbed down very strictly, and we don't have any permissions around that. But what we see is we are getting a lot of queries around sanitization services for both home and offices, because not a lot of service providers out there do these services professionally, one. And second is now that people are more aware uh, of these services and they understand the importance of this, so there is a lot of traction around there. But the challenge being is we really don't we are not able to go out there and serve it. So we're getting a lot of queries, we're getting a lot of leads, but we can't really translate it into a business as of now.
Ravi, I'll just extend the question. Since you
Yeah,
also
please.
come under essential services for sanitization purpose,
True.
what is the challenge you're facing to get this service started? Because I heard a lot of instances of companies in the US who are making big tapping this opportunity just to
Right,
sanitize
right.
the companies.
True. true. So it's a big opportunity. So we were not exactly into sanitation services before this coronavirus thing, but after it has happened, we started getting a lot of queries, and that's when we started this. So we kind of retrained and upskilled our people to do the services. A couple of issues are, one is a lot of migrant workers, right, have kind of moved back, and they're very apprehensive to take up any kind of jobs because they're not very sure, and they're not very sure of the news on how they will be treated. And most of the workers in Bangalore and in a lot of spaces, right, in India are from Northeast, and there's a special issue with Northeast and the people of Northeast, the way we are dealing with it. So a lot of common people are not very keen on transacting with Northeast people. So that's kind of worrisome. And second aspect is the supply chain of the chemicals and the machinery part, which is critically hit now. Now that most of the big wholesalers and all the manufacturers have taken a hit, so all these things are not available to scale your operations probably. So that's one of the issues we are facing.
Understood. Understood.
Yeah.
I'll come to Milind Anvekar. You are into a business which has taken a direct hit, and it looks like for a very long time, travel and tourism businesses would take a lot of time to scale up. How do you explain the impact on your business, and what do you foresee coming in the next, say, 1 year?
What we've seen immediately is an impact on different domains. And if you pick up the McKinsey report and pick up the top three impacted domains, then air and travel comes the third in that particular list, right? This is something which is massive, something that, as I mentioned earlier, not something that the industry has experienced. People will probably look at things differently now that we are in a lockdown period. We are exploring different set of ideas at this point of time. Remote meetings are coming in place, so all the official travel probably is going to get curtailed. You will not probably see family vacations for a very short duration as of now, at least. But I think knowing the travel domain, I believe that the sector should bounce back, but it's not going to be 2 months, 3 months kind of stuff, right? It's going to be probably another 12 months at least till things start falling in place. But having said that, I think it will start showing the positives of it very soon. But the damage would have, a lot of damage would have been done by then. Like if you see China, they are already talking about 40% increase in the hotel sales. Now, how genuine these are, we don't know, but that's the numbers coming in, right? So we will see a growth. There will be people who will be trying to also see it as an opportunity because the prices of the travel are going to come down. The holiday prices are going to come down drastically. So there are people who are going to see that as an opportunity. But it's just not the travel. I think it's all other related activities around travel that is taking a major hit. So looking at our business as such, being in the travel space for the last 20 years, we have built relationships. We believe that most of the tour operators that we deal with, these are some of the premium tour operators, they will find a tough time because in the last 1 month, almost everyone is just busy canceling the bookings. No one is literally getting any revenue into it. They're just canceling the bookings. We have seen clients who are potentially going to shut down shops for 2 months, 3 months of time, but unfortunately they will not know for sure how long will it take for them to bounce back. We have also seen people during such times will want to invest more, right, in terms of preparing themselves for what would come next. So a lot of R&D, a lot of new developments would happen during that time in preparation for the coming season, probably you can say late 2020, 2021. So we will see that aspect as well, wherein people will come and invest. But from industry perspective, we are expecting we are expecting a hit of around at least 60% to the business growth this year, which is a big number to deal with. So there are immediately there's a big downside from the business perspective. From opportunities, yes, I think there are immense opportunities. Only thing, we don't know the time frame at this point of time. At a very high level, I think it's going to take at least 12 months of time for things to settle down and be normal.
Okay. And what is the mindset of the airline industries or travel and tourism operators when it comes to procuring IT services? I understand that the support segment would be halted for a while, but are they still continuing to procure the software services, trying to improvise? I'm trying to look at opportunities for the software services companies, product companies who are still trying to engage in some revenues from the affected industry.
Uh, it depends. Like I think you may not really be getting some new market as such. Okay, but if you see in terms of airline industry as such, that's one of the very badly hit industries, right? So many of them, we are probably even talking about how they're going to sustain beyond 2 months of time, because some of the biggest names probably are saying they have cash on hand for the next 2 months of time, right? What after that, right? So I think it's anyway industry that has been in trouble, and then with this you're just compounding it further. So British Airways, for example, is talking about 36,000 plus people of their staff members being suspended. So I think it's a big impact that we're talking about. In terms of technology, I think there are a lot of opportunities, I would say, wherein what has happened now is just going to add to the opportunities that existed in the travel space. For example, uh, you can always consider investing in enhancing passenger experience with augmented reality and virtual reality. So I think that's a big space for someone to really look into at this point of time, and look at seeing what can be done in that. I think security is another aspect. So making security seamless with AI, is going to be another big opportunity in the travel space. If you see in terms of how airports are going to be using more for AI, so lot of opportunities exist in the airport space. For example, if someone is to look at, like for if you say the UK government has spent around 1.8 million pounds in AI to boost the security and reduce the time that you spend at the airports, right? So I think that's a kind of investment that people will be looking at here. And AI can be used for checking the natural radiation of the passengers, at airports or things like that. And more importantly, now I think more and more products are going to see how they can track the passenger information. So the CRM is going to get extended to capture all the travel details. So if you see now, people are trying to get the travel history of people. But if you connect to the tour operators or look at the airline industry, I think that's the one that can immediately give the travel history for people, right?
Yeah, and it's good to hear that the travel and tourism industry is going to open up for a lot of software integration, which is a good and big opportunity for the companies going ahead. Sanket, I'll move on to you, and I want to ask you one question. Now that the current uh, tasks are halted, your current
Hmm.
engagement is halted, what is an
Hmm.
alternative option do you see? How are you trying to deal with the current situation while you wait for it to recover?
Okay, so the alternative, what we see beyond this is like we already have the retailers, we already have users using our platform as in the retailers. Okay, can we connect? Because another problem what we had identified long back was the offline distributors of any FMCG company dealing with the offline retailers used to deal mostly with the cash and check. Okay, and there is huge amount of credit crunch problem which is about to happen the moment industry starts again in the consumer domain. Okay, there is a lot of liquidity crunch about to come in. So can we become a maybe credit line app for the retailers now to purchase anything from their FMCG distributors, or probably make the B2B payments right by using our Minkspay app to their FMCG distributors is something what we are currently targeting on, and we are uh, like doing a market research on that, and if we are able to get a right connect there, we should be able to make these systems live as soon as possible.
But isn't the supply chain affected as of now when you're talking about retailers directly communicating with the distributors?
So as far as, even if you see, right, the FMCG industry used to work mostly in the physical way. When I say this, it's a distributor used to have multiple uh, feet on street, probably the salespeople who used to go in every retail store and accept the orders and collect the payments and all those things. Can we ensure that the behavior is about to change a lot after this crisis period? Okay, and that same behavior of the retailers can help Minkspay to introduce much easier processes in picture for distributors to collect the orders from retailers. And beyond that, what we can think is, can he make the payment right from that app? and can he actually get a credit line of more 15 days or more 8 days or more 20 days with the help of Minkspay in between. The way how you get a Bajaj EMI card today and you walk into any electronic store and you buy any electronic gadget and you are able to get that EMI, but probably the local electronic store or Chroma is not extending your credit, but Bajaj is extending your credit because Bajaj is acting like a platform in between. So can we play that role? Because even if you see that FMCG's disruption in the supply chain, yes, it has disrupted a lot of supply chain, but I think as far as essentials and FMCG fast-moving consumer products are concerned, uh, government is coming up with the Suraksha store, as you said yesterday, like you had shared a link. Okay, and government would further continue to enable these stores to work in the market as much as they can, because government don't want to like let any shortfall of the supplies at this point of time when people are sitting at their home. So I think so the supply of normal FMCG and essential goods will still continue, but there is going to be a huge liquidity crunch for any retailer working in the market.
All right. And Sanket, the change in behavior comes with some changes in the surrounding. Like
Yes.
today, we have the online ordering of goods. We have retailers accepting orders on WhatsApp and sending across items, home delivering items. So you see a change in their normal behavior. How do you plan to tap this opportunity?
Yes. So I think so, Milind, as we had discussed last time, that Minkspay can even have explored an opportunity to enable hyperlocal or probably giving them a POS system to collect orders from neighborhood customers. But again, what we felt is this may be not the exact time to enter that market. Markets should still get more mature than this, because no one knows how the things are going to operate 1 month down the line or 2 months down the line. Okay, are they going to be as same as what it is today, or they are going to gradually change as we move forward? Okay, so what I think is the way our WhatsApp is enabling every retailer to accept at least orders from the neighborhood customers, why not retailer get used to how online deliveries works and let him use WhatsApp and ensure that like actually like realize that what are the main problems what he is able to see by using just WhatsApp. Can there be more better platform, much better platform than WhatsApp to accept orders? And I think so that realization will not come to retailer immediately. Let them operate with the WhatsApp for more 1 month or maybe whatever time period is. And the moment he realizes that it's very tough to again write down the order on a paper and like pack it and process it, it's a too complicated task, because he don't know how much he has delivered at the end of the day to how many households. There is no proper track record what he can keep. Okay, and I think so when you try to convince him at day one, he will not realize that problems. Let him realize this problem on his own by operating with these sort of things for more than 1 month, and then I think so there will be a sweet spot coming in for the players like hyperlocal or the POS players who can enable this seamlessness into their current process.
Makes a lot of sense, Sanket. Um, Ravi, I have a question for you.
Yes, please.
How how do you see what business opportunities do you see with the change happening right now? People are working from home. They're glued to their home for a very long time. So how do you see
Right.
these changes happening, and how do you see your business being impacted when this phases out and people start getting into their normal lives again?
Right. So, what I would want to say is, see, every recession or downturn presents with new opportunities and ends up in creation of new unicorns. So, if you go back and see if 2000 crisis or 2008 crisis, Flipkart and uh, Snapdeal and other kind of unicorns came out of 2008 crisis, and around 2000 there was Google and Yahoo and internet companies like them came up. So what happens is there's a huge shift in consumer behavior, which happens during these times, and probably more now than ever, actually, because people have been staying so long for home. So so all kind of consumer behavior in terms of how we consume things, how we transact with different technologies changes, right? So that's very important. Couple of industry verticals which I see will get a lot of traction. One could be education. Education in current format, the way people access college infrastructure or everything might need to change. MOOCs and online training will rise, like Upgrad, Udemy, edX, all of them are already doing well, but I'm sure there is space for more and more uh, providers there in probably K2, K12 space, and even competitive exam space, where we would see a lot of traction. And I'm sure there is a lot of uh, attraction in the core education space. So what is currently a Baiju is doing is not is also uh, definitely supporting the core education, but it's more of a secondary or tertiary support of education. The primary uh, support comes from the school still, right? If we can somehow replace that, not especially at the school level, but probably at a college level or some other professional institution level, that could be great. And second opportunity what I see is more in terms of productivity tools, uh, which we would require more and more for work from home scenarios. Like Zoom has really taken off, Slack has really taken off, Trello, and some of these other tools have definitely taken off. And there could be a lot of spaces where uh, there could be IT products which would bring in a lot of productivity for working from home kind of a scenario, right? Or working remotely. So one is that. Second, third would be manufacturing of essential products could be moved domestically, because what has happened is after this downturn, what we've seen is China, the extra reliance on China is not really safe, right, in terms of essential products. So a lot of companies or a lot of countries would prefer local vendors over a vendor who's sitting far in probably Vietnam or Thailand or China or somewhere else, right? So there could be a lot of opportunities there, and I'm sure the people would be ready to pay that premium to source things locally now. So this could be a couple of places where I see opportunities. I'm still figuring out which opportunity I should pursue probably, and yeah, so that's where we are at, right? So yeah.
And one question to you: how do you see entrepreneurs should be dealing in these tough times where you're working from home,
Mhm.
and how do you use this time to be more productive?
So yeah, a couple of things which have taken probably backseat earlier is what I would want to focus on, something like upskilling, right? So as an entrepreneur, we need to change all the time. So change is the only constant, we say, right? So learning is one of the top things on my mind, and for my team. So what happens is learning is something we don't structure and we don't give it a lot of time, and uh, at this time we have a lot of opportunity of doing that. And with a lot of MOOCs and all these online companies making a lot of their courses free, there's a good opportunity for us to upskill and cross skill on different platforms. One is for ourselves, and for team we can give different targets on what they can upskill on. Second is evaluating, analyzing, and improving the current processes and different IT platforms what we are currently using. So we are doing that. So we are analyzing all different data, seeing if there are any inefficiencies which we can look at it now. We can go a little deeper, do a little deep dive analysis, re-look at our processes if they need to change and if they're getting old. Even our tech stack probably. So we're looking a thorough look at it, taking a complete top down and look and seeing what can be replaced, what new things can come in, right? And some of the business functions which we tend to neglect as entrepreneurs, uh, we're focusing on something like HR, and sometimes even marketing takes a backseat when you're into execution mode. So we are taking a hard look at these and seeing, okay, what uh, things do we need to bring in this function. So couple of these things which we're trying to do, and I guess it's a right time where we can analyze, evaluate things, and we can come with a better momentum whenever the market opens, right? So yeah, right time for that.
What is one skill you're looking at, you're currently working on
So
at a personal level?
Right. So I have skills more on sales, marketing, and operations. So I'm trying to pick up some tech skills like. I come from analytics and data science background, so I'm trying to learn AI and stuff like that, and how do I use it in different industry, and also I'm taking a look at HR as a business function because that's the most neglected in a entrepreneur's journey. So I'm trying to look at HR processes and HR skills, what we can learn in this time.
All right, I was expecting you to say you're trying to learn singing or trying to play guitar, but that's good. That's how entrepreneurs are.
Yeah.
Coming back to Milind Anvekar, uh, we uh, we got a very short notice to work from home, or when it comes to business continuity planning, we did not foresee this coming, and I think work from home was announced without giving a notice, at least when it comes to Goa. And when you have about 500 people in and around Goa, how did you manage to get it done? What challenges did you face here?
I think that's quite interesting. I think somewhere we saw this coming, so that helped us to an extent. But just to add to it, what happened was we had this couple of cases of chicken pox in office, right? So that's also equally a troubling case to deal with. So we had started office sanitization. So for almost a month, we were having regular sanitizations being put in place. And then every weekend there was sanitization activity being carried on. So we were basically taking care of all of it. Then with this corona thing becoming a very common name, first thing we did was all people who were traveling out of Goa, we made sure that we get them to be home quarantined for 2 weeks of time. This was even before the government announced anything. So we are putting everyone to start working from home for 2 weeks of time before they come and start working in office. And then we realized that this is probably, especially when the UK, where our headquarters is, we realized that it's going to come here soon. And I think first we picked up the data of people who have already worked from home, right? So we know that these people are capable of working from home. So that took care of around 40% of the people. At some point of time, we knew that they had worked. Then within a 1 week of time, we did small exercises to have batch of people to try out their ability to work from home, right? So we did that activity. Whoever could connect, it was good. If they could not, we looked at alternatives for them. We figured out all the maths required to make sure that all the people have the required machines at home. So did some swapping of the machines of people who had laptops of their own at home, which they could use to connect to the machines here, so that people who had laptops here, we could swap their desktops with them. So that did happen. We did this entire activity. And then we did the HR team, the network guys, they did a wonderful activity of transporting the desktops of the people on one particular day in that 4 hours of slot, so that all of them had machines back home.
And one question to you personally is, what are skills you are trying to upgrade while you're at home?
Okay, I think this is. I thought I would do a lot of things, but I think work from home is more time consuming. Amount of time you spend time talking to people, and I think this has been really good because there are many people I had not spoken much earlier. So I think this is a time you get to talk to people. You ask, you get to know them a bit better. See if you can help them in any way, because many of them are from outside Goa. They probably need some help here. So you get a chance to interact with them. A lot of learnings in terms of managerial skills, in terms of decision making. So I think that's normal part. Other than that, I think there is still a bucket list. Few things. Guitar obviously is there. So as I'm going to probably have some tunes ready by end of the lockdown. So I think that's good part of it. Been long time not done any artistic work, so painting related stuff. So maybe that's something I'll have time for. And there are some books that I need to finish reading. So that's it. But I think more than that, uh, at the moment I'm enjoying being innovative with my son. I got a 6-year-old son, so we do a lot of games. We're thinking of probably documenting some of the games that we've done. So I think that's really fun. So we innovate, we create different variations, versions of games, and believe at some point of time that's going to be a good opportunity for him maybe to consider to be an entrepreneur and take this ahead. But I enjoy creating games. He enjoys giving variations and ideas to it, and currently we're having a lot of fun doing that.
And we won't be surprised seeing some interesting videos. I remember one of your dancing video. You were really good. You surprised us, Don.
I think yes, I think that's something we thought, but maybe not now. We need to get in better shape first. So I think we will do that. I think yes, I think it gives a lot of time together. Done a lot of things. In fact, this gets this gives you time to be with the family. The family appreciates what you do because they know you are in office, but now they see you, being here. So you start early in the morning, so almost 7:38. You're starting things, and you work as normal. You're normally dressed. It's not that you're just very casual about it. You are in marathon meetings. You get around 10-15 minutes to have your lunch. You are always in discussion. Sometimes some meetings go until night 10. So I think they really understand. They see, oh, this guy is doing something, not just what normal perception is that people are in office just moving around, having some relaxed time in AC offices. So I think they appreciate that. You get to spend more time with your family, understand what their normal routine is that you normally don't get to be part of. Spend time with each other, watch some web series or some movies together. I do spend time involving my family members into it. So I last week did one quiz for all of them. So my father, mother, wife, and my son, they participate, and I'm the quiz master. So putting a quiz program in place and then getting all of them to participate, have good fun, give some good prizes. So I'm actually having a good time. I think this, I don't know, I would have otherwise thought of and got an opportunity to do so. But I'm really enjoying that part, that I'm spending time with the family. Uh, and yes, I think I don't know whether it's a good thing, but for now, for whatever time it has been, it's really been a good thing. It has been stressful, but I think it's been a good balance overall. So I'm happy the way things are. And dance, yes, definitely there will be a version 2 coming. I'll send it to you for your review.
Definitely, and that's a wonderful thing coming from you. And interestingly, same thing's happening with me. I hear my father telling my neighbors that my son is working a lot these days. But interestingly, I've been working a lot lesser, but he just sees me working, so he feels I'm working a lot these days. So that's an interesting thing coming out from you. Before we wind up, I would ask Sanket. I would move to Sanket, and Sanket, I would really love to hear what are you doing in these times at a personal level. What skills are you looking to acquire?
Yes, right now, as in nothing, figuring out some next fundraising plan that is first on the list, and beyond that, next thing is like aligning something like maybe working on some more creative stuff about how we can approach market without even having sales team in the field. Okay, can we achieve some creative sort of uh, digital uh, content strategy or something like that? That is something what we are exploring. But another thing, in fact, if you ask me personally, I'm learning more on cooking side of it. Okay,
Wow.
exploring something on cooking, and that's how I'm currently spending the time. And as Milind said, it's marathon meetings, like a lot of back-to-back calls. People feel it's comfortable working at home, but I don't think so. It's when you are working from home, there are a lot of meetings aligned throughout a day, and some things are overlapping to each other. It's difficult time to manage when the things are overlapping. Just want to know how are you, like, again, the cash flow part, right, is a very big thing for the people who are running their startups, and specifically for the product companies like us, it's very difficult because the revenues has dropped by 90%. Okay, and it's really important to understand whether we should put our team on unpaid leaves, or whether we should cut down on the people, take a haircut by probably giving them a layoff letters or something like that. So that is something I want to understand from all of you about how you are dealing with the excessive amount of resources what you already have in your team. Like, what have you thought on that cash flow side of it?
Yeah, anyone would want to take this question? Ravi, Milind?
Uh, Yes, I think that's a tough one, in terms of deciding. So I think just to compound things further, there were different directives from government, which made it very uncomfortable for people to take decisions very openly. But I think when it comes to businesses, you have to basically figure out what works best for your business. I think cash on hand is something very important, and most businesses have to make sure that you have thought through that strategy, especially when your revenues are dropping drastically. And I think we have, within 2 weeks of time, we knew that we are going to be down by 60% at least in terms of revenues, and probably it will go as you move on from there. So I think that allows you to make sure that you start working towards cost cutting strategies. So there has been a lot of efforts in putting across different cost cutting strategies that are required, so that you can survive a bit more, right? It's not just about the next 2 months, but it's about the next 4 months to that. So around 6 months of time is what you need to plan for in such kind of times. So cost cutting is the first thing. uh, so we are doing it on month basis. We're reviewing the things. So for now, what we are saying is that it's overall cost that we're reducing. It comes in terms of the salary reduction as well, which our staff has willingly accepted, because the option was whether to go for job cut or for salary cut at this point of time. So I think that's where that decision was made easy by the staff members, saying that let's not go for job cut at this stage. Uh, but when it comes to BPO sector, I think that's where we will probably see a job cut, because uh, that business operates in terms of the seats that are booked by the customers, right? So if customers are not going to continue for the next 5 months, 6 months, you're not going to have people on bench at this point of time, especially in the time of uncertainty. So yes, I think that's going to be mixed, wherein you will have to consider some cuts there in terms of the jobs.
So a couple of things which we did, I would want to point out is first we took a stock of what exactly where we stand, as in what is the cash situation of the company, and second is arriving at the crucial business metrics like what was our capex spend. So there's no capex spend for next 3 months for sure. What is the opex spend? And I personally spoke to many of my vendors, and I kind of gave them a guarantee that the payments would come in, but we would postpone the payments for some time, right? And we did that because we have certain fixed costs in terms of employee cost which we have to meet. So that's what we did. We kind of made a 1 month, 3 month, and a 6 month plan. We're also renegotiating with the landlord on a monthly rentals. So that's one of the fixed costs. So we're re-looking at every fixed cost possible, and obviously at the employee salaries. And we have spoken to a lot of them, and they voluntarily come up and taken the haircut there. So these are some of the measures, but you should have a clear defined plan of your next 1 month, 3 month, and 6 months, because we don't know when this is going to end and how businesses are going to respond to this, or how the market is going to respond to this. So we need to clearly have a 1 month, 3 month, and 6 month plan on how we going to manage the cash. And it's very essential that we know exactly the cash in hand, exactly our opex, fixed costs, and our capex probably. So that would really give us keep be handy for making these plans. So yeah, that's what we're doing.
Thanks, Ravi and Milind. Like, it was really insightful to understand your point of views on all of it. It was very important to navigate out of it.
Right.
We can't get drawn with the whole company at this stage just for the sake of saving everyone.
Yes.
Perfect. Guys, so it's almost time, so we would wind up, but I would share the context of the entire panel with everyone. So in case you want to get connected, you can always reach out. I know Ravi, I reach out to Ravi when I need any guidance from him. He's well versed with the Bangalore market. He knows he knows the go to market strategy. Sanket has an access to more than 9,000 retailers. So which is connect that he has built. He's an expert into his domain, reaching out to retailers and working out with them. And Milind Anvekar again we have been working very long. He was my colleague as a vice president in the last term at GTA. We have been in contact for very long, handling Goa's biggest company, I would say, been a part of it and taking head on for all the responsibilities. it would be if you guys want to reach out to each other, you will have the contact details. And I hope I'll just get a quick feedback on today's session, just to understand whether this session was helpful to you to rewind and to rethink and to understand other domains apart from what we have been working on. Just a quick feedback from you guys.
So Milind, yeah, I really like the session because in moments like this, probably you don't get to network, right? Because you're staying at home and you're not able to meet people from completely different spectrum. So that's what happened today. So I got a decent view of what probably Sanket and Milind do in their daily life and what kind of business problems they're trying to address, right? So it's very interesting that way, and to get different people's perspective on this current scenario. So that's also very helpful. I could definitely take some inputs from there and probably use them. So that was helpful.
Perfect. Yeah. Milind, your take
Yes,
on this,
Milind, I think
genuine
it's
take on this.
always exciting to have be part of your initiatives. Uh, Good to be speaking with this forum with Sanket, Ravi, as of course for the first time we are interacting. But I think it's a good discussion. We have been part of a lot of web series of it. I think this again a different kind of a, opportunity wherein people are able to talk to each other, use this platform, share ideas, and I think the initiative that you have taken, I think, is really good because this is again limited to very few people here. So it's very open discussion, and then I hope many people can get benefited with whatever little experience that you have or whatever things you put in place. And similarly, we get a chance to learn from what others are doing, how others are also getting affected, so that you realize that you're not the only person. So it's just not about you getting out of it, but collectively everyone getting out of it, and then how each one can help each other, because this time has also shown us that sharing ideas, uh, being part of opportunities with others, and collectively figuring out the best way for us to deal with this situation and the stress around it exists, and there are people who will lead the way for getting out of this. So I'm really helpful that I could be part of your first lockdown session, Milind, and all the best for all the future sessions that we'll be having. For anything that any of you guys need, feel free to reach out. I'll see if I can help in any way I can.
Thank you, Milind. And it is the experience of all of you that is going to go further and help a lot of other entrepreneurs who are clueless. Maybe a small startup who has just started and does not have an idea how to deal with the situation. And hearing from you guys, it is going to be a great help. I can just go back to the times 9 years back when I had started. And if this problem had to come then, I would have been completely clueless. And hearing from you, people like you, would have helped me a lot. And that was the simple reason why I thought we should collate all these experiences and put it up in one place. Edited experiences, important content for people to hear and talk about. Sanket, I would your words on this.
Yes, absolutely. Like first of all, like would like to thank you, Milind, for coming up with this idea. The reason is like that day when you came up with this idea, I was really fascinated to be the part of it. The reason is if you go to see today, this is going to be the treasure to navigate out of a new normal. Okay, and you are actually recording all these calls, and this is something which is going to help every new entrepreneur like me to understand the point of view of other experts who are navigating from their own industries and from their respective companies.
Thank you, Sanket, and thanks to
Glad to
all
connect
the
with all of you.
Thank you.
Indeed. And thank you all the, I would like to thank all the panelists. I know you are busy, you have a lot of work, especially in this tough times, but thank you for sharing your time. I really appreciate that. And we would immediately collate these experiences and see that we put out good content to our users. Thank you so much.